Hi guys, welcome to It's 420 Somewhere. I'm in a new place, it's in disarray, and things are happening, so let's get into it. So I haven't yet figured this out, obviously. I don't know if the window back there is a good idea. I don't have a desk near me, so I have my laptop on my lap, which is not ideal, but I'm trying to make it work, and it's a little echoey in here, but you know what, that's just what we're gonna have to deal with. But the first story that I found, which is probably one of the most exciting stories that I have heard in a long time, because it's such a good example of what marijuana can do to get other people off of other stuff, is that there is an article in Marijuana Moment that talks about the pharmaceutical industry's loss of money every time a new state legalizes, and they've put it in a dollar amount. So this is a new study that came out that showed, that was, by the way, peer reviewed. So it's a brand new study, but it was also peer reviewed. So there's actually some traction to it that shows that every time marijuana is legalized in a state, either medicinally or recreationally, the pharmaceutical industry loses about $10 billion. That's so great to hear, and it's exactly what people have theorized for so long, and for it to actually be in a study is a huge deal. Now that's a really big number, but one of the crazy things is that's only about 1.5 to 2% of the stock value in these pharmaceutical companies. So it's a drop in the bucket, yet still significant, yet still extremely significant. It shows a direction that people are going when marijuana legalizes. And it shows that people are not interested in the pharmaceutical industry. Obviously, I think most of us aren't. But getting these actual numbers is a really big step. And so this 1.5 to 2% drop in value is after 10 days of legalization. And it seems and they have found that drop has not risen at all after 20 days. So we're gonna have to see a lot more studies, a lot more robust studies come out about this and see long-term effects. But this is showing there's a big dip right off the bat once marijuana legalizes in every state. And we saw that in New Jersey, which had one of the biggest opening weekends we have ever seen with marijuana, even though there were about like 13 places open up in the state. So this is great. I can't wait to see more of these kind of studies, and I'm so happy to see money not going in the pockets of the pharmaceutical companies. And one story that I think is important for us to keep in mind when we saw there was a big story last week that came out with MTF monitoring the future survey that showed young adults now smoking marijuana more than they ever have before. And I think a lot of people kind of mix up the idea of what a young adult is with what an adolescent is. And an adolescent is somewhere in their teenage years, whereas a young adult was identified as someone 19 to 30 years old. So 19 is still below the age limit of marijuana, but it's not as young as many people thought it was when they first heard young adults. And when it comes down to it, these actual adolescents are smoking less than they ever have before. It's going down, and that number has been going down steadily for decades now. So the specific numbers on that are 12th graders peaked their amount of smoking marijuana in 1978, with 37.1% saying they had smoked within the past month. That has been going down and has fallen then in 2020 to 21.1%. And then it fell even further in 2021 with to 19.5, so under 20%. 2021, of course, is an anomaly year because of the pandemic. 2020 is too, but the fact that these numbers have been going down for decades now, since 1978, that's saying something. 10th graders is the same. They peaked in 97 at 20.5% and dropped to 16.6 in 2020, then down to 10% in 2021, which again is an anomaly. And then finally 8th graders, which is the actual concern, people smoking marijuana at 8th grade, that's actually going to screw up your brain, I believe. Some people don't believe that, but I do believe that. And that number peaked in 1996 with 11.3%. going down to 6.5 in 2020 and 4.1 in 2021. So it's important to look at these numbers of young adults and see that these are mostly people who are smoking marijuana legally, or at least are above the age limit to smoke marijuana legally, whereas then people below that age limit are smoking less and less every year and have been for many decades now. So that's all just trying to add more nuance to the conversation of young adults and the statistics coming out with marijuana usage. And yeah, that's all we got today. I hope next week I'll probably have this in a better shape, but until then, I will keep looking up more stories and see you next week. Bye.